Good morning, Year 4. It's Mrs. Dunn here with your daily maths lesson. It's the 6th of July. We're going to warm our brains up today by doing some division. We're going to use our daily 10 to have some dividing by 6 questions. Really try hard to use your multiplication facts that are in the 6 times table to help you with this. Let's have a look. You're going to need a pencil and some paper. If you need to go and get that, pause the video now and then come back to me when you're all set up and ready. Okay, so this is our daily 10 game that we use all the time in school. You can use this game for free at home. You just need to type in daily 10 into Google and then you can choose whichever area of maths you want to work on. So today we're dividing by 6. I'm going to give you 10 seconds for each question because we haven't done this for a really long time. So 10 seconds, when I click that, the time will start. We'll go through the answers at the end. Good luck, Year 4, and remember to use those multiplication facts to help you. Okay, so I'm going to reveal all of the answers. Give yourself a tick for each one that you got right. If you found that tricky, you might like to rewind the video and have another go. You could always pause it after each question so that it gives yourself a little bit of time to work out the answer and then press play again when you're ready to move on. That might help you a little bit. Give yourself a tick for each one, then come back to me when you're done. Okay, so our maths this week is going to be all about statistics. It's all about data, so things like graphs and tables. I've done a little bit on this before, but we're going to really look carefully today at bar graphs or bar charts. So on the screen you can see that I've got a table and I've got a graph, and this graph shows the seasons that children have their birthday in a year group. So the title at the top here tells us what the graph is about. Then we've got the x-axis along the bottom that has the seasons on, and then we've got the number of children at the side on the y-axis. You can see that the scale is counting in 5, so we've got 0, 5, 10 and so on. Each of these bars shows how many children were born in each season. So this bar here shows the children that were born in winter. This bar shows the ones who were born in spring, then in summer and then in autumn. And this question is asking us to complete the table because some of the results, as you can see, are missing. So winter had 13 children. So 13 children were born in winter in Sarah's class. And we can look over at the bar where it says winter and we can see that it goes up to here. Now these numbers here aren't filled in, so you have to imagine that there has got the number 13. So you have to sort of in your brain divide this little part here into 5 so that you can work out how many children had their birthday in winter. So the next one that I need to fill in is spring. So I find spring on my axes here, on my x-axis, and I'm looking up. Now again, it's not a multiple of 5, so it's not level with the 5 or the 10, so I've got to work out where it would be, and I think it's more than halfway, so I'm going to say that 8 children had their birthday in spring. The next one that I need to do is the summer one. So I'm having a look at the summer and I'm going all the way up to the top, and it's just a little bit bigger than 20, so I'm going to say that 21 children had their birthday in summer. And then finally we've got autumn. Now I've just spotted that autumn and winter are exactly the same, so 13 children were also born in the autumn. So I used some existing information to help me to find out the answer. We're going to do it the other way round now. We're going to look at some information in a table and use that to help us to draw the bars. So this is Kareem's information, this is Kareem's data here, and what she wants to do is to think about the children in her year group who were born in the summer birthday month, so in June, July or August. From the table here I can see that 9 children were born in June, 10 children were born in July, the best month to be born in, and 2 children were born in August. Okay, so I've got my months along my x-axis, and then on my y-axis going up here I've got my number of children. And this time, instead of counting in 5s, my scale is counting in steps of 2. So the one that's been done for me is July, and I can see that 10 children were born in July, and I can see that the tower goes up to the number 10. Okay, we've got to fill the bars in for June and August. So if we have a look at the scale, because it's counting in 2s, I think that the easiest one here to fill in is my August, because I know that I just need to draw a bar that is level with the number 2 to show that 2 children were born in August. Now I need to do June. So there isn't going to be a 9 on my scale, it's going to be between the 8 and the 10. So the bar that I draw this time has got to go, the top of it has got to be in the middle of my 8 and my 10 on my scale. So let's have a look, and I think that is just about right. We'll have a red one this time. So we can now check that we've got 9 children in June on the graph and in the table, 10 for July and 2 for August. Those bars really help us to see clearly that July was the most popular month and that August was the least popular. Okay, let's have a look at another graph. So this graph looks a little bit more complicated, sticking with the theme of birthdays. This graph, you can see, has got the number of children and it's also got the months of the year. So this is the month when each of these bars show the amount of children that were born, and it's broken into boys and girls, which is why there are 2 towers, 2 bars for each month. So the pink one is for the boys and the blue bar is for the girls. So just looking at this January one, I can see that 3 boys were born in January, but 4 girls were born. Okay, so my pink boys and my blue girls just helps me to see 2 lots of data on one graph. It gives me that extra layer of comparison. So the first question that we're going to look at is how many boys are there in year 4? Now we've got to look at our keys to success. We need to read that question carefully. How many boys are in year 4? So the boys part there is really, really important. It doesn't matter if it was year 3 or year 6 or year 12, it doesn't matter. We are just talking about the boys in this year group. Okay, remember my boys were the pink bars on my graph. So what I'm going to have to do is work out the total number of boys. So each boy is one increment. So I've got to add up all of the pink bars. So in January there were 3 boys, then 2 in February, that makes 5. Then in March another 5 boys were born. So far I've got 3, add 2, add 5, which is 10. Then in April there was another boy, that makes 11. Another boy in May, which makes 12. Another 5 in June, which makes 17. Then another 4, which makes 21. In August there were another 2, which gives me 23. 3 more in September, which gives me 26. Add 2, which is 28. Add another 2, which is 30. And then another 3 in December gives me 33. How many children have a birthday in June? So I'm looking at June, really important. It's talking to me about June, and it's also talking to me about children. So it's not asking for boys or girls, it's asking for children. So it's the total number of boys and girls. So in June, I can see that there were 5 boys who were born, and I can see there were 2 girls. So I've got to do 5 add 2. And the answer is, I'm sure you've worked it out, is 7. Which 4 months have the same number of birthdays? That's a really tricky question. So it's the total number of birthdays. So again, we're combining our boys and our girls. Okay, so let's have a look. Now I can see that these 3 here look really similar to me. Okay, really similar. So in September we had 3 and 2, which is 8. We had 5, 3 and 2, that's 5, 5 and 5. Are there any others that would give me a total of 5, I wonder? That's my first bit that I'm going to look at. So are there any other bars that give me a total of 5? And I'm going to just jot that there. 5, 5 and 5. So I think that's a real clue. So 1, oh, have a look at this one. So 4 boys and 1 girl. So that again is a total of 5. So yes, there were 4 months that had the same total, and they were July, September, November and December. Okay, so I've answered those 3 questions. Sometimes it's really good if you can ask someone else a question. So I'd like to ask you a question. What is the difference between the number of girls and boys who were born in March? So if we think about the difference, we're looking at how many more it is from the smaller tower up to the bigger tower. Okay, so if I just change my colour to green, the difference is from here to here. So how many children, how many more girls or boys were born in March? What's the difference? Pause the video and work out the answer for me. Okay, so there were 5 boys who were born in March and only 1 girl. So to work out the difference, we can do 5 take away 1, which gives us 4. So the difference between the number of girls and boys who were born in March is 4. Okay, it's your turn now to interpret some data. So what I've done is I've set up some questions for you on maths.co.uk. If you've done home learning before, that's going to be really familiar to you because it's exactly the same programme that we used for our home learning in the spring term. I gave everybody a log-on in January that you're going to need. If you haven't got that login anymore, then please email me at brindleyacademy.com and I can sort that out for you. I can see the answers that you put into the website, so you don't need to upload any work for me, because I can go on and I can have a look at who's done their work for today and how well you did. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, Year 4, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Bye!